What? Speaking of fairness, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, Sha'Carri Richardson. I don't know if you may not know her if you were living under a rock, but if you weren't living under a rock, you have heard her name. She is somebody who took America by storm by
running
was it the 100-meter dash that
for LSU. Yeah,
she eclipsed her opponents and qualified for the Tokyo Olympics but then she quickly became America's sweetheart, which unfortunately also quite abruptly came to an end when she tested positive for marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
She received a 30-day suspension in which she would have, after the suspension would have been over, she still would have qualified for the relays in Tokyo. Unfortunately, the relay team decided to not invite her to compete in the Olympics with them. So, do you guys have thoughts on the Sha'Carri Richardson situation?
I just, I pray for somebody's, make sure they hope that they don't fall into a big depression from this, because this is the creme de la creme, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So for you not to be able to finish your dream is very hurtful for me and Americans, let alone her. So my prayers and thoughts go out for her. But rules are rules. So I'm not. No.
Rules are rules, and I'm not like devastated only because like rules are rules. She knows what the rules are, and she's young enough that she still has time to compete in another Olympic Games. So hopefully she learns from this and she comes back bigger, better, stronger than ever so that she can compete in the next Olympic Games. Besides, right now there's a spike in COVID cases in Tokyo, so they're not even going to allow spectators.
No.
I'm wondering if they should cancel the games altogether.
Thank you. Well, I just was talking to somebody about this. Like, at the end of the day, move the games or don't even have them at all, because all it is going to bring. It's the perfect storm for whoever wants to spread COVID, because everybody else got to go back to their countries anyway.
Right.
Like, geez.
Well, I do think that she's young enough for her to bounce back. What I didn't like was all the criticism that came along with it, because she owned it right from the door. Like, she made a mistake. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And she's still a kid.
She's a young adult.
Yeah, like we did.
Yes.
This, not even on that level. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. It's just people make.
If you watch the video, I feel like she owned it. Like, she gave us what she did. It was short and sweet, and that's just what it was. So we have to accept that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have to accept what she said because she owned that. Moving forward, I feel like she owned it already, and she is accepting responsibility, so she will bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it wasn't her first time, but it was the first time that she won to go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
People smoke weed all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she probably.
It was legal when she did it, where she did it, and all of those things, but it was on the rules. You know what I'm saying? It's not an enhancing performance drug for her. Obvious, it might be. Anybody got some of that Sha'Carri loud?
Understand, like, to me, I definitely do understand that rules are rules, and but I also feel compassion for her, and I understand why she did it. You know, this for her to qualify for the Olympics under the circumstances that she did. From what I understand, she learned from a reporter that her biological mother had passed away, which is very devastating in and of itself. So to have that and to have the pressure of the Olympic Games on you, that's a lot to handle, especially for a young person. Yeah. So I get it.
Yes. And we see it. We see how the young tennis player, she didn't go to the, what was it that she, yes. To protect her peace and her mental. Like, you know, and I applaud her for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can't handle that. And I'm just like, it could have been something worse. It could have been fentanyl. It could have been steroids because people get caught with steroids in their system all the time in those Olympics, and they for years.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Yes.
You guys, Sha'Carri, all of you guys, the Olympics ain't popping like that. No, I hate to say it. We'll like black girl power, black girl magic. We love that and kill them. We won all the medals. We definitely want y'all to bring up all the medals. But at the end of the day, like you could be a success doing something in America more, and we'll pay more attention to you than going over there and doing.
I think that the world just wanted to see her run. We just wanted to see. We wanted to see. We wanted to see her run real quick.
So guess what?
We wanted to see her run
on the track. Period. ESPN is going to be covering her, so it don't matter if it's in the Olympics or in LSU. She's going to get covered. So these times will pass.
With you, I mean, let's be like, if we can all put this in perspective. Sha'Carri, did she have a good chance of winning in the Olympic Games? Yes, she did. But as far as qualifiers, she was not the fastest. There was a woman from Jamaica who was faster than her, and also a woman from Uganda. So she was up against those two as well. We did like how she overcame the odds, because I think like years earlier she had got smoked and then she come back. So this was like definitely a great redemption story to have it like overshadowed by this whole weed debacle. It was kind of
yes.
But I think another thing that I wanted to point out is that some people, black people, are calling for the boycott of the Tokyo Olympics, and I say that is stupid. Please do not boycott the Olympics, because we have phenomenal women such as Simone Biles who are still competing, and we want to make sure that we support them as much as we can. And there's other people who are competing who shouldn't have to suffer because of this person's bad decision. Ultimately, it was a bad decision on Sha'Carri's part.
It was a bad decision.
So I'll still be supporting, at least from what I know, Simone Biles, because she kills it every time.
Definitely,
I love her.
Yes.
Like, they're gonna bring home the medals, and that's the thing. We still got the elite black women. The Olympics is still gonna be American.
Yes.
We might not win all the gold, like most of the gold medals this year, but there's gonna be a lot, because we got a couple talented people that's still on the track. Females, so I just don't. I'm going to pay more attention to her now, just period.
Yeah.
Now to see what she's doing. Nike didn't drop her, like you know what I'm saying. So shout out to Nike.
So that little performance that she had, that was bigger than the Olympics to me. So you know what I mean. It might look like a dark time to her now, but like you said, even if she went to the Olympics, ain't no telling if she would even medal. So
it was triumphant. It was her beating the odds. It was the underdog story that we all love to see.
So now she's a main man.
I'm sad that like her being America's sweetheart for that amount of time came to an end, because I was definitely rooting for her. I'm still rooting for her. It's just sad that she won't be in the Tokyo Olympics like I would have hoped for her to be.
But I still think she's going to be America's sweetheart, because they still following her around with a camera. Like she's going to get whatever track meets. There's going to be coverage, just because.
Right, and she vows to redeem herself. She wants to win the World Cup next year, and there's all kind of accomplishments that she wants to achieve. This is just a small blip on, I feel like, her record. She has a big career ahead of her, and I wish her well.
Now I ain't gonna compare her to football players, but she better not do that shit again.
Right. She better not do that.
Right. Right.
All right now.
Yeah.
Better not do it again.
Right. I feel like she learned. I feel like she got it.
Yeah.
And she probably hit the weed thinking it was going to be out of her system, but it was that Chapawi. So it was a little, the strain was probably a little bit, and it took a little longer for it to get out of her system. Shit.
Yeah.
Man, she probably smoking some Reggie.
I don't know.
So,
but yeah, best of luck to you, Sha'Carri. We are definitely rooting for you.
yeah.
We believe that you have a bright and shining career ahead of you.